If you have ever copied the same code from one class into another, inheritance is the feature you've been missing. In this video, we'll go over inheritance from the ground up using a simple example the whole way through. We'll start with a single child class, build all the way up to multiple inheritance, and the method resolution order. And by the end, you'll know exactly what the word super does and when to reach for it. Inheritance lets you build one class out of another. The new class keeps everything the original had and then adds or changes whatever it needs. The class you start from is called the parent. You'll also hear it called the base class or the superclass. The new class is the child or the derived class or the subclass. Same idea, different names. The reason this works so cleanly is that it mirrors how we already think. A dog is an animal, a cat is an animal. So a dog class can inherit from an animal class and reuse everything an animal already knows how to do. So it keeps you from repeating yourself. The dry principle, do not repeat yourself. Shared behavior lives in one place, the parent, instead of being copied into every class that needs it. Also, when you fix something on the parent, every child gets that fix automatically, one change everywhere. So it's important to note, for the good and the bad of it. And third, it models real relationships. The sentence, "A dog is an animal," turns directly into "dog inherits from animal." And fourth, a child can extend rather than rewrite. It adds new abilities while keeping everything the parent already handed it. So we'll start with the parent. This is a plain animal class, nothing special about it yet. It stores a name in its constructor. It has two methods, eat and sleep. Every animal should be able to eat and sleep, so those behaviors belong here on the parent. The children will get them for free, which is the whole point. Now the child. To make dog inherit from animal, we put the parent in parentheses. Class dog, open paren, animal, close paren. That single line is what creates the relationship. Notice that dog does not define its own constructor at all. There's no init method here. And yet calling dog with a name works perfectly because dog inherited animal's constructor. So dog automatically has name, eat, and sleep, and on top of that it adds one new method of its own, bark. Now we make a dog named Rex, and we call three methods on him, eat, sleep, and bark. Now all three will run, but only one of them, bark, will be written on the dog class. Eat and sleep come straight from animal. Rex inherited them, and we never had to write them twice. Sometimes a child should not just add behavior, it should also change behavior the parent already has, and this is called overriding. Here animal has a speak method that prints a generic sound. Dog defines a method with the exact same name, speak, but with a different body. When you call speak on a dog, the child's version wins. The parent speak still exists for other animals. Dog simply replaces it for dogs. Now when you override a method like that, you fully replace the parent's version. The parent's logic is gone unless you deliberately call it yourself. And sometimes that's exactly what you want, but often you don't want to throw the parent's work away. You want the parent's behavior plus a little extra on top. You want to extend it, not replace it. So that's what super is for. Super gives a child class a reference back to its parent. Through super, the child can call the parent's methods, including the parent's constructor, instead of rewriting them. The pattern is super, open paren, close paren, dot, then the method you want from the parent. That call runs the parent's version. Now animal has a describe method that prints I am an animal. Dog also has describe, but the first thing it does is call super.describe, which runs the parent's version and then it adds its own line. So when we call describe on a dog, both lines print I am an animal from the parent, then more specifically a dog from a child. The child built on top of the parent instead of erasing it. The most common place you're going to use super is on the constructor. Dog needs everything animal sets up, the name plus some extra, a breed. Instead of repeating self.name equals name, which is the parent's job, the child calls super.init and passes the name up. The parent sets the name, then the child adds the breed. Make a dog with a name and a breed, and both attributes are there. Name came from the parent, breed from the child. So the mistake to watch for, this dog defines its own init, sets the breed, but never calls super.init. It skips the parent entirely. In this case, breed will work fine, but the moment you ask for a name, you get an attribute error. The dog object has no attribute name. And that would be because the parent's constructor never ran, so name was never created. If your child defines its own init, you are responsible for calling the parents. Forgetting that is one of the most common inheritance bugs. So to go along with that, Python gives you two built-in ways to check these relationships. Isinstance asks whether an object is an instance of a class. Rex is a dog, so that's true. But Rex is also an animal, because dog inherits from animal, so that's true as well. Rex is not a cat, so that one is false. Issubclass works on the classes themselves. Is dog a subclass of animal? True. Both functions follow the inheritance chain, so they understand the family tree, not just the exact type. Up to this point, everything so far had one parent, but a class can inherit from more than one parent at the same time, picking up methods from all of them. You just list every parent inside the parentheses separated by commas. Here, a robot dog inherits from both dog and machine. And this is powerful, but it raises a fair question. If two parents both define a method with the same name, which one does the child get? So hold that thought, because that is what the method resolution order answers. Now you can see it in the code. Dog knows how to speak. Machine knows how to power on. Robot dog inherits from both and does not even need a body of its own, so we just write pass. Create a robot dog and it can do both. It can speak, inherited from dog, and it can power on, inherited from machine. One class, abilities drawn from two different parents. So let's think about the method resolution order. When you call a method, Python doesn't guess. It searches the classes in a fixed, predictable sequence called the method resolution order, or MRO. It checks the child first. Then it checks each parent left to right, in the order you listed them. Then their parents, all the way up to object, which sits at the root of everything in Python. The first matching method it finds wins. For our robot dog, the order is robot dog, then machine, then object. And you also never have to guess the order. You don't have to memorize it, because every class will tell you. You can read the dunder MRO attribute, or call the MRO method for a cleaner list. For robot dog, you get exactly the sequence we expected. Robot dog, dog, machine, object. So if both dog and machine had a speak method, dogs would win, because dog appears first in that list. The MRO makes it completely deterministic. So inheritance lets a child class reuse a parent's attributes and methods. Overriding lets the child redefine a method to replace the parents. Super lets the child call the parent's version so that it can extend instead of replace. Super.init reuses the parent's constructor, then the child adds its own setup. Isinstance and issubclass check relationships along the chain. And multiple inheritance lets a class have several parents, with the method resolution order deciding, in a fixed sequence, which method wins. So that's inheritance. A child class stands on its parent's shoulders. Reuse what works, override what doesn't, and let super connect the two.